All right, so you went on your trip, you stayed on track with your health and fitness. Now you're back home. What do you do? Happy Monday. Let's talk about what to do when you get home from the trip. Last week, I offered some suggestions for how to stay on track with your health and fitness. And now that I'm back from LA and back on Eastern time and trying to recoup from being on Pacific time, I want to offer some suggestions for what to do to get back on track when you come home. After any trip, no matter what, no matter how long or how short, that day that you get home, that first day when you get home, can be a little daunting. You've got laundry, likely you're dehydrated. You could be off your schedule because of time zone change. You probably ate or, had some things while you're traveling that you don't normally have. And there's just some stuff that can make you feel wonky on that very first day. And so I've discovered and explored and kind of figured out in my health and fitness journey some tips, and I continue to explore and discover and figure out some ways to get back on track sooner after a trip. The first action I do is I get up at as close to my normal time as possible. So last night I got home at 12:30, time zone change, Pacific time, Eastern time, whatever. This is February, so normally I would get up at 5 a.m., but this morning I slept till 5:30. I just gave myself an extra 30 minutes. I went to bed at 12:30. I got up at 5:30, and the first, no joke, that like the first little sound of the alarm, you're like, where am I? What's going on? What's happening? what time zone am I in? And then really once your feet hit the floor, you're good. You can get about the rest of your day. What is so important after that alarm and after, whatever you do first thing in the morning is your morning routine. So for me, I get up at 5:30 this morning. I shower. I always shower first. Always like to start the day clean. Get ready. When I come downstairs, I am right into my morning routine. There is something so soothing, so grounding, so centering about having such a solid morning routine that there's no wasted energy getting up and wondering what you're going to do. You know what you're going to do because you're going to tap right back into that solid morning routine. And when you do that, that sets you up for the rest of your day, no matter what you have going on that day. So came downstairs, took care of the dogs, one sleeping back there, took care of the dogs, and just got right into my morning routine, made the energized, did the thing, gratitude and goals, a little bit of journaling, and set myself up for a day, worked out, taught class, all of that. So the first big tip I have for you is set your alarm for very close to the time you would normally get up. Even if you've changed time zones, you didn't get a huge amount of sleep, just go ahead and get yourself right back on that routine. And then make sure that you have a super solid morning routine. It will be soothing. It will feel empowering to tap back into that morning routine that day after travel. It'll feel like sometimes, when you come home from travel and you've got like all the laundry and the refrigerator's bare and no one's opened the mail for 6 days. I don't know, is that just me? Like I'm the only one in my home that can open the mail. So you've got like all this stuff going on and you want to do it all right away. If you can just sort of tap back into your morning routine and let that be your calm in what the other chaos that's going on, it will really set you up for a much better day. Then big point number 2, you have to get some movement in your day right away. So I'm of course doing bar blend. So I did that downstairs, but on Mondays I teach. And, especially again, the time zone travel, you can feel kind of draggy and your mind can say, oh, you know what? I'm just too tired to work out. I'm too tired to work out. But here's the truth. Energy creates energy. So when we expend energy, we actually create energy. So it's not by kind of dragging around and saying that I'm too tired to work out that we're going to actually feel like working out. It's actually just by working out. And I swear to you, on the other side of bar blend, plus my class that I taught this morning, on the other side of that, it was like jet lag it was just gone. It helped me shake off the dregs of travel. The jet lag was gone. Now, that being said, I'm gonna feel it in just a little bit this evening. I'm gonna feel it, and I'll get to what I'm gonna do tonight as part of my day back from travel in just a bit. But big point number 2, you've gotta get some movement in your, you don't have to go out and run a marathon, but you have to get some movement in. It's just going to be, it's for so many reasons, on so many levels, mental and physical, you got to get some movement in your life. So number 1, morning routine, solid, tap back into it. When everything else is kind of crazy and you feel like you want to accomplish it right away, let that morning routine be your anchor, your guide, your center, your grounding place for to set yourself up for a really amazing intentional day. And then number 2, you got to get some movement in. Number 3, you should have been doing this the whole time you were gone, but you got to hydrate, and you got to hydrate like a boss. You got to hydrate like crazy. So hopefully you were hydrating if you were on a plane ride to your destination. Hopefully you were hydrating even more while you're at your destination. And then hopefully you were hydrating even more on your plane ride back, because airline flight is so dehydrating. And just science, most of us walk around in a state of mild dehydration anyway. Most of us are not getting the hydration that we need. Now we're gonna get on a flight, we're gonna travel, and that is just going to increase the dehydration. You've gotta hydrate. So this is my fourth one today of this size. And I drink one and then I just refill it from my water. We have a water dispenser here. I just keep refilling it. And so I've had 3 or 4 of these today. And again, just like movement, water cures a lot, you know? It gets stuff moving. Again, with the jet lag, helps clear out the jet lag. Because most of us are walking around in a state of mild dehydration, hydrating improves clarity, improves focus, improves brain function. Often we mistake hunger when we're actually thirsty. So that is point number 3, hydrate like crazy. Number 4, unpack, but also give yourself some grace. Now you got to find your own sweet space here. You got to find your own sweet space. I unpacked about 50% last night. Yeah, at midnight I did. It just makes me feel better. But I didn't unpack everything. And then I got up this morning, I was into my morning routine. I did my workouts. I taught class. I did masterminds with my coaches. I will finish unpacking tonight. So give yourself a little grace and get unpacked as soon as possible, but also don't feel like you have to do it all at midnight. That's silly. Have some perspective. Give yourself some grace. The other end of that, especially if you have had a time change, is you got to get to bed. Now, again, this is February. So if you're getting up, what you need, ladies? I think she's worried that I'm gonna, you see her? Where'd she go? She's worried that I'm gonna leave again. This is February, so we're getting up at 5 a.m. And that, by its very nature, just the 5 a.m. alarm calls you to go to bed a little sooner so you can get your sleep. But if you have been traveling and you've gone through some time zone change and maybe you're a little dehydrated and your nutrition's been just a smidge off, you know you're getting back up on that. They're both very concerned with what I'm doing right now. And you're getting up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. You gotta get to bed tonight. You can't be up till all hours of the night tonight and then expect to feel any better tomorrow. So you gotta get to bed early. That's part of the February plan is, if you're gonna get up early, you gotta get to bed early. And if you're experiencing some jet lag and you're trying to get back on track, you gotta get some sleep. Because also, if you had traveled, you were on vacation, you were, kind of on a different time zone, likely you were off your sleep schedule anyway. You might have stayed up later than normal. If you went to Disney or a theme park, you might have gotten up earlier than normal. And your sleep schedule is just off. Okay, well, you can't be a good functioning grown-up person unless you're getting your sleep and unless it's in routine. So you gotta get to bed early tonight. All right, so let's go through those again. Number 1, what are you gonna do? You got a rock solid morning routine. Okay, so that speaks to the fact that if you don't have one now, you gotta get one, all right? You gotta get into that morning routine, and you gotta get it so rock solid that no matter what else is going on in your life, that morning routine really centers and grounds you and helps set yourself up for an amazing day that you design on purpose, okay? Because those pockets of time in the morning, that like 5 to 7 a.m., if you work a job outside the home, nobody needs a conference call with you. Nobody needs a meeting at 5 a.m. If you are a full-time parent, or you're a part-time parent and you work part-time outside the home, you know, you've got other obligations, very rarely does someone else need you at 5 a.m. So from 5 to 7, that sweet little pocket of time, that's really yours to do with it what you need to do and create the life that you want to create. So number one, you've got, I mean, can I harp on the morning routine anymore? I know, but you've got to lock in a solid morning routine for life, but also when you come back from travel. It's really going to help ground you. Number two, this is out of order. Drink water. Oh, number 2 is movement. Number 3 is drink water. Number 4, unpack and get sorted out, but also give yourself a little grace. It doesn't all have to be unpacked the minute you walk in. All the laundry does not have to be done the minute you get home, all right? So be about it with some urgency, but also don't be about it with frenetic urgency, like the world's gonna end if your suitcase isn't unpacked the minute you get in, okay? So give yourself a little grace there. And what was number 5? Oh yeah, go to bed earlier. You've got to go to bed earlier. You just have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're getting up at 5 a.m. and protecting that morning schedule, you've got to get the sleep on the other end. So the beautiful thing about getting up at 5 a.m. is it probably is going to force you to go to bed earlier. And if you've been traveling, it just gives you more opportunity to get back on your regular sleep schedule that much sooner. So those are some of my tips for getting back into routine. Last week I talked about how to stay on track with your health and fitness. And if you followed me and followed my stories, you saw me living out the very tips and suggestions that I shared with you last week. We got movement in right away when we landed in California. We went to Whole Foods. I had my shake bar. So you saw me on stories living out everything. I'm not going to share something with you that I haven't lived out or figured out and kind of explored on my own. So shared with you that last week, and now how to get back on schedule, you know, just after travel in general, but especially if you've gone through some time zones. So I hope you take these tips and use them for any time you travel. If you've got some other tips that maybe you've discovered along your journey, I would love to know them. Please share them with me, and we will stay on track together. You know, we'll stay on track on our health and fitness journey and help each other reach some incredible goals this year, because this is a new decade, brand new decade. And in February, we actually get an extra day. It is a leap year. So we get 29 days in February. All right, let me know if you've got some other suggestions for how to get back on track with your health and fitness. I'll see you in the morning. Let's make some energized together.